Greetings and welcome back to yet another episode of the Daily Run, and today we are playing as Eden. And what we're starting out with is a how to jump item, which is an active item that allows you to jump over items, or chasms, or rocks, or anything really. And it allows you to get consumables that you maybe otherwise wouldn't get, or maybe allows you to kind of dodge a bit better. But what ends up happening, because it's such a lackluster item, it ends up being replaced by the better item, like in our case the crystal ball. So I'm kind of sad that we didn't have a chance to use it, because I think it's a really funny item in the sense that there are a lot of silly things you can do with it. I really like the animation as well, but of course we can't really let Crystal Ball go because it gives us too many advantages not to take it. Besides the obvious ones like giving us mapping every floor and giving us random spirit hearts and tarot cards, it also has a chance of giving us an AOS rune, which will then allow us to go further than Mom's Heart, which is of course the objective of this run in particular. So for those reasons we can't really afford to take just how to jump, because it will, while it might net us some consumables here and there aren't really a lot of rooms, or so many rooms that we can justify in taking it. And we can say that on average the item will generate more points for us than the crystal ball, because I don't think that's correct. We're fighting Ragman here, which is not a boss you want to see on the first floor, but thankfully our tier shot speed is actually pretty fast, so we are able to kind of dish a lot of tiers in a short amount of time. And it's not really too difficult to deal with if you're kind of in this position. If your tier shot speed is slow, so you can't really kind of shoot it in fast, then it gets a bit tedious just because it's hard to kind of aim and dodge at the same time. What he ends up doing is just spawning a lot of spiders. You kind of have, it's hard to deal with them, but thankfully this fight was actually kind of, well, easy in the sense that he didn't really spawn like 3 or 4 spiders. That's where things usually get annoying. There were at most 2 spiders on the screen and him, so that ended up making the fight quite kind of simple and not too hard. And I'm thankful that even though this boss is annoying, he wasn't too annoying this time, and I was able to deal with him kind of in a fast way and just get it over with. And he even gave us the halo, which I think if I had to fight a boss like this, I would choose for him to give me a solid item, or an item that gives me a lot of stats up. You saw me not using the pill as well, but I just saved it because I knew where the secret room is, and I tried popping the pill next to it in hoping that it would be explosive diarrhea, which generates bomb for us, and there's just a chance of that happening, and that's the only reason why I didn't pop the pill before. I just rather use it later when it can have an additional benefit than just using it in the boss room, for example, which would result in me not getting the secret room if that pill was explosive diarrhea. So far the run is actually going kind of well. You have a lot of health, which is obviously great. A lot of decent items like the mark in this situation. Guppy's tail is pretty decent too. We even got the squeezy, and on the previous floor we got a halo. So a lot of very solid items that kind of make this run pretty strong, at least at this point. And even better is we have Empty Vessel, which I didn't realize until I picked up both Devil Deals up. But what happens if you don't have any red health? You get the ability to fly, and that's great because of course we have flight. But another benefit of the item is that it gives you random invisibility for like 5 seconds, like you can see now fighting as Gertie, and it really makes for a useful whenever that happens, especially against bosses. It can happen multiple times throughout boss rush or harsh or whatever you're fighting. And it, like I said, it really ends up helping you a lot. And the fact that we don't really need red health in this situation because we have a way of restoring our spirit hearts via the crystal ball just kind of makes that decision so much easier to commit to a spirit heart only playstyle. You saw me fighting Krampus in a small room, and I thought that was a testament to just kind of how well this run was going. In the sense, it's not super strong and we just didn't demolish Krampus, but at the same time, it's strong enough that we were able to deal with him without getting hit. And I think whenever you can fight the Krampus in a small room and not get hit, you're either playing well or the run is going well enough. You don't have to worry about these things. What ended up happening here a few times is that the big guy, the Mega Fatty, ended up hitting me with his sky attack, and that never actually happened before, so I was kind of surprised that attack can actually land a shot, but I guess it can. Why wouldn't it? But it's really, like I said, it never happened to me from the day I've been playing. I don't think that attack actually hit me, so it was kind of surprising to see that my first, or maybe my first sources of damage were from attack that usually doesn't end up hitting me before. So we even get Synthol on this floor, so that's a good start, because like I said, at this point we're just having all the right things, so all the combinations we need to really start kind of making this run great. We have the ability to get the 2 of cards, which gives us a lot of consumables. We have a Gyro rune, so that gives us the possibility of using a blank card to get a lot of consumables. And we also had the Crystal Ball, which gives us the possibility of getting those AWAS runes, which will allow us to go further. One problem is, though, with this run in particular, well, in any run that relies on damage more than kind of any special tear effects, is that just damage and tear shot speed, or just tear rate, is usually not strong enough, at least later on. You really need a lot of damage ups and tear ups to kind of start doing well, because just having damage ups will increase your damage by 1, 2, while the health of enemies increases by a magnitude of like 10, 20, 50 maybe. This is especially visible against bosses, because you can see, even though we got all these damage ups, we're just not dealing that much damage as you would expect. And to kind of really take advantage of that, we really need items that kind of amplify our damage even more. So items like Brimstone, of course, Mom's Knife, Tech Hex, all of those items, of course, these are the most premium of items you can find in the game. But there are multiple of others. I'm just trying to say that just having tiers with coins is just not gonna be strong enough for us to kind of be very happy going to boss rush, or maybe even later floors, because I don't feel like we'll be able to deal with enemies as effectively as we would if we actually had a way to take advantage of our damage. So also not the sad part, but the annoying part of this is, like I said, we really just having tiers and damage up is just not strong enough. Even though we actually got our tier rate, I think, is maxed at this point. We can't even get it any higher, because I think I got 3 separate tiers up items and even 1 pill, and I think that's enough for our tiers to be already at their maximum, or at least how fast we can shoot. We also got a few damage ups, and at this point you can see that I'm really struggling to kill some of these high health bosses, or in other words, it's taking a lot of time, like over 20-30 seconds for Gish. And it's a bit upsetting, because I always feel whenever I get items like Steven to give me a damage up, and growth hormones, and also synth oil, and the mark, of course, and the halo, that at this point we should be stronger than we are, but like I said, this is not the fact. And it's really kind of surprising how the game works sometimes, in the sense that sometimes you can end up just not picking very many damage ups at all, and you can feel really strong. And I think one of those happened not too long ago when I had Shoop the Whoop. And of course, having Shoop the Whoop and just 1 or 2 damage ups, combined with Card Battery, just increased our damage so much that it felt very strong, even though we didn't have any super overwhelming items. Well, in this case, I would say that we actually got quite a few overwhelming items that you're really happy to see on an average run, and our damages didn't improve that much. Maybe that's also a combination of being Eden and not any other character that has a damage multiplier. But yeah, that's how things ended up happening. Especially annoying is that this boss rush had a few annoying combinations of bosses, like the cage, and any boss that moves fast or jumps is usually a death sentence, just because the cage is a very unreliable boss in my opinion. Or if there is a way to dodge his Brimstone attack, I'm not aware of it, because while I know what happens, if he doesn't have any enemies outside, he won't use his Brimstone attack. But if you have, of course, 2 bosses in boss rush, you usually can't, at least on a run like this, you can't kill one before he can actually start executing his attack, which means that more often than not you're gonna end up getting hit, and that's not something that's really happy to see, just because there's really nothing you can do about it. I feel, or I would hope that there would be a way to kind of see that attack coming a bit better. Maybe his Brimstone attack could like charge for a second, maybe just kind of show an outline of where it's going to strike, and then in a second it would strike, and that would just give you a bit more time to kind of dodge it and predict it. I feel like it would keep his core design the same, so it wouldn't be like super overpowered, or I mean underpowered. It wouldn't be a huge nerf, but it would just give the player the agency to see what's going on and kind of react to it appropriately. And I still feel like in some rooms it could be hard enough, because just dodging the pattern and trying not to get hit with another enemy is gonna be hard enough. So Mom's Knife is exactly the item I was talking about when I said we have a lot of damage ups, but we don't really have a lot of ways to utilize that damage or to really take advantage of it other than our tiers, and our tiers just aren't strong enough. And Mom's Knife is exactly the item that kind of multiplies or amplifies that damage, because 1 tick of Mom's Knife actually deals R damage, but what ends up happening whenever you shoot it on an enemy, it actually deals multiple ticks of damage. And if you just kind of arc it well, I would say it even hits maybe 7 or 8 times. So suddenly we go from struggling to kill bosses into just killing him with one well knife shot, and that is the item I was talking about. Of course, Mom's Knife is also one of those premium items that you really can't hope for because it's a special item, but just having it means that we can really take advantage of it much better. So remember I was talking about Empty Vessel and how having red health gives us the ability to flight, or having no red health gives us the ability to flight. Well, I had an empty heart container, so I had flight, and the chest paid out with a heart, and I ended up picking it up, and I'm stuck in this little pool here, and I don't really know how to get out of it. I even tried putting the bombs down to kind of try to blast myself out of it, but it didn't work. And what ended up happening as well is my sticky keys opened, and I just said, okay, that's it, we're quitting the run because I don't think I can get out of this mess. And it's sad too because I felt like the run was going actually pretty well, and this was the last floor, so you know, I could have gotten like 5,000 more points at least. But hey, what can you do about it? This is sometimes this is gonna happen. A little mistake, a little blunder on my part that I got stuck in that little island because I had flight. I should have really paid a bit more attention to it when I saw the red heart going out. Yeah, with that said guys, I thank you for watching and I hope to see you next time.